Hello, and welcome to Select 10. In this video, we'll review the top 10 new Hollywood films that were released on Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, Apple TV Plus in March and April of 2024. This selection will include recent thriller, action, and science fiction films that you can stream on the mentioned streaming platforms. Now let's start with the video. Number 10. Sleeping Dogs. It is a 2024 crime mystery thriller film directed by Adam Cooper. The plot revolves around Roy Freeman, an ex-officer with a diagnosis of Alzheimer's, who is compelled to revive an inquiry concerning the death of a college professor after receiving new details from an enigmatic woman. It begins when the convicted man is sentenced to death. Roy returns with a shattered memory and attempts to look back on a case he can't recall, all while piecing together the terrible information from his years-long murder inquiry, revealing a diabolical maze of hidden truths and lies that connect to his past. Throughout the investigation, he confronts a terrible revelation that alters his life, while his path intersects with a number of suspect characters, complicating his search for the truth. Despite the movie's frequent inaccuracy and confusion, its mystery has two redeeming qualities: a respectable plot and an outstanding performance by Crowe. Although it doesn't completely reinvent the crime genre, it is an engaging thriller that will hold viewers' attention for a few hours. Number 9. Immaculate. It is a 2024 psychological horror film directed by Michael Moen. The narrative centers on Cecilia, a devoted religious woman who is granted a new position in a prestigious convent. Following that, one morning, she is suddenly rushed to the medical professional, where they uncover Sister Cecilia's pregnancy and pronounce it a miraculous event, while the sisters strive to prepare Cecilia for the birth of the kid, whom many think will be a beacon of hope. However, Cecilia's simple existence suddenly becomes an everyday horror when her fellow nun dies out of nowhere, while she discovers nefarious mysteries and horrific events inside the convent, forcing her to flee the convent by any means necessary. The plot has plenty of cliches and logical errors, but it also features hauntingly good cinematography, provocative topics, and exceptional acting by Sweeney that will leave you speechless. Overall, the film has pace flaws, but it is engaging and maintains your attention throughout. Thanks to its excellent spooky setting, somber tone, and ample supply of jump scares, this film is bound to delight fans of horror and suspenseful cinema. Number 8. Kung Fu Panda 4. It is a 2024 animated martial arts comedy film directed by Mike Mitchell. It is the follow-up to Kung Fu Panda 3, 2016, and the fourth entry in the Kung Fu Panda series. The narrative centers on Po's next quest, in which he has to locate and teach a new dragon warrior to take his place. However, his journey proves to be even more difficult than he anticipated when he joins forces with the fox Jen to combat the wicked mage, the chameleon, before she absorbs the kung fu powers of all teachers in China. The film keeps its charm with vibrant visuals, thrilling action sequences, and humorous banter while introducing a few new, entertaining characters. The writing is clever, and the animation is just as charming as in the other movies, but the film's major action moments are its strongest points. Although it lacks the same emotional resonance as the first movie, this part 2 will nonetheless make you laugh and root for the protagonist. Number 7. Blood for Dust. It is a 2024 action crime thriller film directed by Rod Blackhurst. The narrative centers on Cliff, a salesman who is struggling to support his family. After a fortunate meeting with Ricky, a coworker with a troubled history, he quickly discovers himself on a risky journey. In an attempt to save his troubled family life, Cliff consents to work with Ricky to smuggle guns and drugs across state lines for a cartel leader named John. However, after an ordinary discussion devolves into a carnage, Cliff and Ricky find themselves in a precarious scenario where they must battle for their lives. The cast, which includes Kit Harington, is the film's best feature. The plot of the movie is watchable, although the conclusion is a little predictable. There are numerous gunfights that will impress action genre aficionados, and while the film's plot is conventional and at times routine, the characters make it worth seeing. Number 6. The Three Musketeers, Milady. It is a 2023 epic action-adventure film directed by Martin Bourboulon. It is the second installment in a two-part epic storytelling that began with The Three Musketeers, D'Artagnan, 2023. For those who haven't seen the first movie, here's a quick overview of its plot. The plot revolves around D'Artagnan, who travels to Paris looking to locate the people who attacked him. However, his investigation quickly takes him to an actual conflict where the destiny of France is in jeopardy. He ultimately enlists with the king's three musketeers Athos, Porthos, and Aramis to help save the nation and secure France's survival. In the second part, D'Artagnan teams up with Milady to rescue his girlfriend, Constance, who was taken hostage by the goons who tried to kill King Louis. But as battle becomes official, Athos, Porthos, and Aramis are currently on the battlefront. An unexplained event from long ago breaks old relationships, and unexpected betrayals endanger the safety of all. Though the action scenes in this movie are spectacular, and the political drama is stronger than in Part 1, Eva Green is the real star of the film. Another fantastic aspect of the movie is how realistically it depicts sword skills and the brutality of 17th century warfare. Even though the humor isn't always spot on, the historical context and set designs will keep you interested the whole time. Number 5. Alienoid. Return to the Future. It is a 2024 sci-fi action film directed by Choi Dong-hoon. Here is the plot of the first film before we talk about Part 2. It is a story of two periods that follows man named Guard from the current period who are looking for an alien hidden inside a human's body and ancient Goryeo dynasty monks who are searching for a time-bending sword. Meanwhile, a time-traveling gateway opens, bringing the two groups together. You'll find out how and who opened the gateway while viewing, as telling it now would spoil the story for you. The second story opens with Leon, a citizen of the Goryeo dynasty, recovering the divine sword and ending up stuck in the distant past and trying to stop an extraterrestrial hostage imprisoned in a human body while looking for a guard. In the current day, a material known as Hava, which was set off by the architect, a fugitive extraterrestrial prisoner, has killed multiple people. There are only 48 hours left until the entire Hava explodes, so Leon needs to gain access to the Gate of Time and travel back to the future to halt the explosion. The storyline jumps back and forth between the 14th and 19th centuries, telling three distinct stories, so at times it feels disorganized. Still, the hugely imaginative science fiction idea and superb action make the movie entertaining. Number 4. Rebel Moon, Part 2, The Scargiver. It is a 2024 epic space opera film directed by Zack Snyder. It is the second installment of the two-part story and a follow-up to Rebel Moon, Part 1, A Child of Fire, 2023. For those who haven't watched it yet, the first movie takes place in a far-off galaxy where Regent Belisarius, the cruel emperor of the militaristic motherworld, threatens agricultural settlement on the moon Velt in search of rebels. The primary focus is on Cora, an ex-officer for the Imperium, who sets out on a mission to gather fighters from all around the galaxy to oppose the Imperium forces under the command of Atticus Noble prior to their return to Velt. The sequel takes place on the moon Velt, where Cora and her warrior squad return to defend Velt from the Motherworld's huge army and battleships that are approaching the planet. In short, if you have seen many or even a few Star Wars films, you will not be impressed with this one. The only things that save these movies from being pointless are their action, setting, and actors. The plot has few twists and an interesting subplot of the Cora connection to Belisarius, but the core story lacks in depth and emotional effect, and the character development is disappointing. Overall, rather than coming in expecting a solid science fiction movie, you may take this one as an enjoyable guilty pleasure. Number 3. Problemista. It is a 2023 comedy drama film directed by Julio Torres. The movie centers on Alejandro, an ambitious toy creator in New York, whose work visa is about to expire, and his only chance to remain in the nation is to take a job serving Elizabeth, a volatile misfit in the field of artwork. What follows is a hilariously portrayed bizarre journey through the equally dangerous realms of New York City and the U.S. immigration administrative processes. The amount of time spent on supporting characters in the movie detracts from Alejandro at points, making it seem more like a collection of interconnected tales than a single narrative. However, it deftly and expertly interweaves several of its storyline strands in the end. The film is a visually appealing and thought-provoking satire of the U.S. immigration procedure that combines surrealism, humor, and emotion. Overall, the movie delves into the significance of art, skillfully managing intricate systems as well as characters, while conveying an inspiring message of determination. Number 2. Late Night with the Devil. It is a 2023 supernatural horror film directed by Cameron and Colin Cairns. The plot centers on Jack Delroy, the presenter of the weekly talk program Night Owls, which has been a reliable source of relaxation aid for Americans suffering from insomnia. But after Jack's cherished wife passed away tragically, the show's viewership drastically declined. In an attempt to change his luck, Jack organizes an unprecedented Halloween extravaganza on October 31, 1977. In an attempt to increase the show's ratings, he brings a girl who is supposedly possessed, not realizing that he was about to release evil into American residences. The movie brilliantly utilizes the found footage subgenre, and the whole horror aspect of the show feels natural, as though it's all taking place in front of our eyes. The movie's conclusion is its one weakness. Although it functions well, it is a little disorganized. Instead of having the pleasing twist that a film less cleverly deserved, it merely ends. However, the movie is certain to become a classic among horror enthusiasts, particularly around Halloween. Number 1. Dune. Part 2. It is a 2024 epic sci-fi adventure film, directed by Denis Villeneuve. It is the second installment in a two-part adaptation of Frank Herbert's 1965 book, Dune, and the follow-up to Dune 2021 film. The story picks up immediately after the first part ends, following Paul Atreides as he joins forces with the Freeman citizens of the desert planet Arrakis to fight the House Harkonnen, who have wrongfully taken over the planet from Paul's family, House Atreides, and taken possession of the precious substance, spice. The film depicts the events in which Paul is forced to confront his visions and realize his true fate, while he also gathers a Freeman army against Harkonnen forces led by Fade Rotha, who has been tasked with eliminating the Freeman. Whether you consider the characters, the direction, the action sequences, or the film's astounding science fiction plot, the movie is a masterpiece. It was the best possible on-screen adaptation of Herbert books. The CGI in the sandworm parts was excellent, and it skillfully presented the enormous universe of Dune, so you couldn't take your eyes off the magnificent backdrop. The good news is that a third movie, based on Dune Messiah, is currently under production. So we'll see more of Dune, and things will get crazier. That's it for today. Thank you for watching this video. And do subscribe our channel to see more videos related to movies and series suggestions.